Today is January 16th. We're in Proverbs chapter 16, right smack dab in the middle of the book of Proverbs. And this is the middle chapter, so we've read 15 chapters before this. After this, we'll read 15 more. I hope that you've been able to join us, but if not, just jump in right where we're at. And the point is not to read through the book. The point is to develop a daily habit of reading. So be sure to read Proverbs 16, and then you can watch this video and share with us something God has taught you from the chapter. Of course, like a lot of these chapters in Proverbs, there's several different themes that kind of jump throughout, but one that stood out to me in this chapter was the contrast between God's will and God's way and man's will or man's way. So several times we read that a man makes plans, but God ultimately is the one who brings them to fruition. And so it just starts off in verses 1 and 2. The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the eyes of a man are pure in his own eyes. Now, all the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. And there's a way that man thinks, there's a way that God thinks. And obviously God's will and God's way is higher than man's. God's will is right. Man's will is often deceiving. Verse 9, a similar thought, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his step. Man has ideas and makes plans, but it's God ultimately who carries out his own will. Verse 25 says there's a way that seems right to man, but its end is the way to death. So there's a warning here that following your own plan and following your own will will not lead you where God wants you to go. And then finally, the last verse of the chapter, the lot is cast into the lap. But its every decision is from the Lord. In other words, all these chance things that seem to be happening, all these lots that are cast, all of these circumstances around you ultimately are decided on and in control of God himself. Several other themes throughout the chapter. Maybe there's something else you picked up on. I'd love to hear what God is teaching you through his word today.